Welcome everybody to the Prosperity and Health Alliance with a Heart webinar. I know a whole bunch of people are jumping on, so thank you once again for joining us on this Monday evening. I'm here with my fellow host, Siha Top, and our good buddy Wade Lightheart is presently in transit, so he's not going to be joining us this evening. Siha and myself, Creel Hutchinson, will be taking the show from here. So just want to appreciate you guys all who made it out to GoPro Mastery in Las Vegas. Wow, what an event. I know a lot of us have been in transit the last 24 hours just getting home. So just getting settled in and ready to take some massive action out in the world. So I do appreciate you guys plugging into the webinar, getting connected to the team. We got a really exciting show for you this evening. Siha and myself I've been in Vegas for the last 4 days, and we're going to do a recap of really our key points that we took away from the event and share that with you guys. And so at any point, I would love to also see who's joining us from where, so you can type into the question box, just say hello, where you're calling in from, so that we can see that on our end. Let's get started. So as you know, we're in the middle of 101 days of all-out massive action with the PH Alliance. Coming into the middle of October, so we're getting close to about halfway, and really starting to look towards December and the Christmas. It'll be here before you know it. So this Eric Worre GoPro event really allows us to maximize the next 6 to 7 weeks and really go all out. So I'm going to start. Let's see. Kim, I'm having a hard time moving my screen along.
Is it
for the
paused?
PowerPoint.
Is it paused?
Let's see.
Now try it.
No, it's still not doing it.
Roll your mouse on the mouse part.
Yeah.
Go down to the bottom left and you're going to see some arrows. Yep.
Perfect. So thanks so much, Kim. We've got her. She's got her back in the back office here for everybody who's just. That's lovely, Kim. So jumping into it, GoPro Mastery, and here's a little review. The event started with really identifying by Eric Worre the 3 main things that we need to do in order to be extremely successful at network marketing. Number 1 is have $1 million mindset, which is really mastering the inner game. And I'm going to spend some time really getting into that. Number 2, the skill set. And then number 3 is the strategy to merge the mindset with the skills and take them into action. All right, so we spent 3.5 days with some of the best top earners in the industry, some of the masters of the inner game, some of the masters of the skill set, and we've really come around, with a special formula to be able to share with you this evening. So going to move it into the next slide, and let's talk about the inner game. Now, a good friend of mine, Rishak Lightwan, that many of you know in Nelson, BC, he's been telling me about Bob Proctor for about 6 months, and so it was a real privilege to see him at this event. And I feel like we kind of got started on the Thursday with Bob, and it kind of built into the rest of the evening, weekend. But I just wanted to talk about the inner game, and really we've heard this before. This is network marketing is a personal development program with an awesome compensation plan. And the more you grow, the more you'll learn, and the more you'll earn. So conquering limiting beliefs and fears. Eric Worre suggested that 80% of success is the inner game. 20% is the skills. Right? So it's really understanding what our limiting beliefs are and the fears that we come up against. Now, we've all kind of talked about this, why you're doing this, what's in the game for you, and we realize when it comes into action, we start to see our limiting beliefs. So the results that we are getting are expressions of what's going on in the inside. You don't like what's happening, you need to change something, and it's not so much what you're doing out there, but what you're thinking in here. Start here, and the results will follow. So really, a change in paradigm is necessary. Bob Proctor talked about paradigms. Really, it's a set of beliefs and values that we hold that keep us focused in a certain direction, right? And when I got involved with network marketing 9 years ago, I had a certain set of beliefs and paradigms. One of them was that I had to work hard. like really coming from a blue-collar kind of perspective. And I had my own ideas about money and not really feeling like I deserved success. Over the course of the 9 years, I've really been able to work and dive deeper into that and kind of reframe or rethink how I'm showing up in the world. So I really want to express that to you guys out there too. And you've heard this. It's like we need to really move ourselves into the position where we're able to advance. And it comes down to having the mentality or the mindset that really promotes us to be the most positive, influential, excited, enthusiastic people out in the world, and that's going to gravitate others. It's not what you say, it's how you say it is really so powerful. And so the inner game, basically we spent all day Thursday really talking about this at the event, and it really drove home the sentence, like, we need to figure this out. So there's lots of great tools. It was mentioned over and over again. I thought it was a great quote that Bob Proctor left, and he suggested discipline when you give yourself a command and follow it. So often we consider discipline, and at least for myself, was something that I need to do something, and I've got a list. I've got to kind of move through it. Whereas this definition really is much more empowering. Because there's things that we tell ourselves, I want to make 25 phone calls. I want to make 25 texts. I want to read this book. I want to do, exposure once a day. I want to get out to an event. I want to get a few people there. The power that we have inside the mind, when we give ourselves a command and we break it, we really set ourselves up for an unfair paradigm. We reinforce certain things. Whereas discipline, true discipline, is giving ourselves a command and following through with it. Siha is going to talk about the skill set, and we're going to talk about taking action, the strategies involved, but we've got to get really clear of what we're doing, right? So hopefully many of you, were at the event, and many of you were seeing the live stream. I felt like Bob Proctor was an incredible addition for a man who's, 82 years old, looking phenomenal. And I was seeing that, he's got 50, 60 years of personal development. And what he's been reading every single day is this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. About 2 years ago, a friend introduced me to this, and I started reading it, and then I got the audios and started listening to it over and over again. Without a doubt, the most quoted book and book reference from the 3.5 days from our speakers were people saying, you need to read this. So it's kind of a clue, everybody. This is about the inner game. This is about creating the right mindset so that success is going to be possible. It's like getting into any kind of activity and not understanding what the rules are, not taking time to really understand how the whole thing works, how to put ourselves in a position to win. So I really want to encourage everybody, take the time, pick up a copy of this. I'm going to reread this book now. And if you've got the audios or you want to get access to the audios, send me an email. I'd love to pass that on. Fabulous stuff. All right? So continuing with the inner game, then we had Eric Worre, the master of network marketing and teaching the skills and the training. And he spoke about you need to think different about rejection, your emotions, what your past story was, where your work is, social acceptance, what network marketing is. So many of us have a predefined or a definition associated with this. We come into this moment, this day, with a story. Our inner game is corrupted. In order to achieve something new into the future, we need to shift what's happening here. For example, let's take rejection. In the beginning, I was crushed at times by rejection. I took it very personally. What's the last thing I wanted to do was then reach out to another person and invite them to an event. Literally it could take me out for hours or days. Rather than changing the perception or the mindset associated with rejection and see it as what it is, which is a learning opportunity. To take that rejection and see what worked, what didn't work, how could I do better, right? The idea that problems exist is a part of us living in the world, right? So changing how we think about things so that we're able to achieve greater success. And we've all known this, our emotions when we get in fear mode, using that to our advantage rather than taking us away from what we really want to achieve, which is helping people and being successful. Our past. So many of us, including myself at times, have brought my past insecurities and fears into the present moment, and it really cuts me off from living a fuller potential and promoting that potential to other people. Right? The social acceptance. We get scared about people. What are they going to think about us being in network marketing? And then one of the key things, we need to think different about network marketing in general. Really own that this is an amazing profession and it has the opportunity to transform all of our lives and all of our ways of being in the world. Not take for granted. Don't slap it in the face. Really own what this is so you stand in that posture. That's going to be very exciting and very appealing for people moving forward into what we have. So where are you at that? How do you truly feel about rejection? How do you truly feel about yourself in network marketing? Check into your own inner game. You might want to inject that DVD and place a new one in. Do an upgraded program. Telling a different story. Network marketing is all about stories. What story are you telling? Change and create the story that you want, that you dream of. Invite people into the power of that story and the direction that you're headed in. Also challenging, what is our legacy? Don't quit, be better. There were so many great speakers this weekend, and we were really encouraged to take a key point from each one. And there is a woman that got up, Suzanne Sly, has an incredible background, so many reasons why this should not have worked for her. And her big thing was, don't quit. In every challenge, we have a decision, either to get out or get better. And because of the work that we do on the inside game, we realize we have an opportunity to get better. Our problems, our rejections, our objections that we come through are all opportunities for growth. The people who grow the most in this industry are the ones that are going to be successful, right? Embrace the personal development and move forward with it. Here's another great idea that was brought out, was network marketing can't be learned, it has to be discovered through the process. So many people don't understand what we do. I try to explain it to friends, or friends have perceptions of what they do, and they'll be critical or judgmental to it, or maybe they'll even support it, but they don't actually know what this is. Me trying to explain it to a new prospect also doesn't really work. It has to be learned and discovered. The learning moves into discovering what we do, how we do it, and so forth, and that takes time. And in that discovery, the inner game is going to change. All right? So moving forward, Tony Robbins, Friday night. For those that tuned in, wow, what a show. That was the first time I'd ever seen Tony Robbins live. Wow, he really knows how to fire up a room and bring people to standing, to high energy. And there was a few really key things that I want to share with you guys. Master your own mental and emotional state is going to be the key for your success in network marketing, but honestly, it's going to be your key for success in your life. How do we get the mental and emotional state to line up so that it's congruent with what we want to achieve and how we want to be successful? The power of problems allows us to grow and perform. If you're not living with problems, as Tony said, you're not living life. Life, by definition, creates problems for us, and how we respond to those problems based on how we think and the skill set and what we can do really will define us. Right? Energy comes from high emotions. In order to take massive action here, in order to move through the ups and downs of personal development, the ups and downs of your business, and we've all been there, and if you're in one, it's all about how do I move myself out of this? Tony Robbins really expressed that energy is needed, and energy comes from really high, strong emotions. Right? The reason why we will defend and go to battle for people we love is because the emotion is so strong inside of us. We need to take a look at the inner game and understand what's driving us, what's really moving us, what is my why, and connect it to something bigger than myself. Right? And at the beginning, we might, be figuring out what is my why, and it starts to change. But as soon as you can connect it to something larger than yourself, something of a greater magnitude to be in service, is really going to then bring forward these stronger, higher emotions that provide you with more energy to operate out in the world. So through a 3.5 event with Tony Robbins, the room got fired up. And we started to really understand that changing your state through your physical body and repetition is key. So when you're moving, or let's take an example, you're going to go see a prospect. How you show up in your state is going to impact that prospect more than anything else you're going to say or do. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And how we say it is really a relation to how we're feeling. So we spent so much time really getting ourselves into a peak state so that our energy is very inviting, it's welcoming. People want to be part of something that's fun, enthusiastic. It's going places rather than something flat. Shoulders rolled in, we're not having a good time. Oh, please come take a look at my opportunity. That doesn't work versus showing up peak performance, peak state. And we really need to jack our physical bodies up. Shoulders back, chest out, thinking, reading, doing the right things on a daily, consistent basis so that our mindset is one of a successful mindset. And that's going to exude out to everybody we talk to. And of course, we need to learn through repetition. Daily activities of doing all of this. All right, then moving along from Tony, we entered into, before I jump into Siha, I'm going to take it one more step back and kind of just do the inner game for me has really changed over the last few years. And what I've come to realize is network marketing is an opportunity for you to become a better person. I know for myself, 9 years in this, what's happened to me is that I've transformed at a personal level. And in order to achieve the next rank, the next goal, to help somebody, I've needed to clean myself up here and in my heart in order to really do something with this. So if people are struggling or having some challenges, take a look in the mirror. You have the opportunity to be a better version of yourself and then to show that into the world. That's what people are looking for. So, you know, according to the masters that we just got to see, understanding and really working on yourself is going to be so rewarding. And here's an awesome business opportunity with Enagic and network marketing, the entire industry, that if you take this on over the course of the next 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, imagine the person that you're going to become, and imagine the person you're going to invite your downline and leaders and friends to become with you. One of the greatest things I think I've witnessed is seeing the people that I brought into my business and how they personally changed and developed. And I know, you know, speaking to Alan, speaking to Wade, speaking to Siha, they've witnessed me in 5 years grow into a different person. This is such a key aspect to what we do. So I really want to invite you, fall in love with the process of becoming a better person. Right? The inner game needs to be worked on a daily basis. So one of the things I wanted to leave you guys with, and I want you guys to put some information into the question box, I've been thinking about maybe having a reading book for the month for the PH Alliance that we can all agree to, like, okay, we're going to start on the first, take it all the way to the end, maybe do a little review. Some of the great books we've been talked about is, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Building an Empire by Brian Crothers, who spoke. This is a fantastic blueprint of how this all works. There are so many great books out there, and I really feel the inner game is about making commitments and going through with it, reading 10 pages a day. So I want you who are watching this, put some information into the questions. If you like that idea, if we propose that, would you participate? Would you make the commitment to read one book a month? Over a 12-month period, we've got 12 books. Imagine that over the years, what we can do as a community and group together. So put some information in. So excited about what's coming up next. I'm going to now introduce our good friend Siha Top. He's going to start to talk about the skills and moving it forward. So Siha, are you there? Jump on the line, my friend.
I'm here. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. Creel, thank you so much for putting that together. As always, absolutely incredible. You're a great guy. Everybody, if you were not at the GoPro live, you missed a lifetime of experience. This was, we had like 4 caravans, over 20 of our teammates and best friends there, in the energy live. Yes, we can watch it via stream, and yes, we can get it later in videos and stuff like that, but there's nothing like being in the energy. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, Eric Worre, a lot of you attended the Eric Worre Vancouver BC before the event, and so you know what that can bring to your game, right? So I really encourage everybody to get to as many of these events live, whether it be a live presentation, whether it be live trainings, business training, whatever that you can get to live. That's when you, your prospects, your teammates, your clients, you know, anybody who's looking to learn more about the business can get the whole sense of the energy. And so I want to encourage people to get to the next show. We are doing our best to get, you know, our teams to the next event, like in Hawaii and stuff like that. And I'll talk about that later. But I want to just go into the training that Crew was talking about. We wanted to bring to you guys there's so much information over 3 days. How do you cover everything? You know, so myself being in network marketing for 7 years with the Nagic company for 7 years, you know, there's things that have been told to me over and over and over again. And you know what? I'm just now feeling like sometimes I'm hearing it for the first time, or, oh yeah, this is a reminder, right? And so it doesn't matter if you're the first day in it or you're 5 years, or like myself and Creel, you know, 7 to 9 years into the business. These are excellent tips that you should write down and you should put into practice. So I'm going to start with Eric Worre, because he was the head MC, and he is the teacher of the top of the top in the network marketing business. And if you're going to learn from someone, you want to learn from somebody who's teaching the top of the top. He is. So Eric, you know, he brings to the table some really simple ideas, and he puts it in a system that's easy for all of us to understand. We talked from the very first week that we started this, the 7 steps, and you can get that on GoPro. But here's what I got out of the event. You know, what I see a lot of us not doing, or teammates out there that aren't getting the results that they want to get, and I'm analyzing, just, you know, as a friend and as a coach and as a mentor, I'm analyzing what is it that you're doing and not doing. And Eric says, you know, and a lot of the leaders says, make a decision. Make a decision as to what you're going to do in this business. What are you willing to do for your success? You know, say yes to your decision. Really say yes to it. Commit to it. Tell the world, then go figure it out. Just some really simple things. Make your decision, because I feel that there's so many people out there that are just, you haven't made your decision, and only you know that. But sometimes I can feel that, you know what, the decision is not 100% there. So you have to, I just want to remind everybody, make your decision and then commit to it. Once you commit to your decision, set your goals. Set your goals, and this is coming from Eric again. These are the bits and pieces that, you know, we've heard over and over again, but I'm seeing people aren't doing it. They're not making the final decision. They're not setting their goals. And how do you set your goals and follow through with it? One of the ways that I do it is I tell the world. Tell the world what you're going to do. Mean it. Really, you know, come from the inside. This is my goal. This is my vision. This is my commitment to my project. It's your project. It's not my project. And then tell the world, because we're all going to help you. We want to be part of your world. We're going to help you get to your successes, get to your goals. So tell the world. I'm going to move on with Eric lays out a simple goal and strategy plan for us, and I want you to have your piece of paper, if you don't already. Have a piece of paper and a pen, and on one side of the paper, you're going to write the word goals. Okay. On the other side, draw a line in between, and you're going to write the word strategy. And from under goals, or to the left of it, you're going to have your personal goals. What is it? What are some of your personal goals? That's the first line. Second line, you're going to have habits. Okay? Third line, you're going to have activities. Then recruiting. Then customers. Then rank. Then income. Then events. And then being world class, being an artist, what Eric calls being an artist in the business, being a professional, being world class. Then contribution, and then others. So this is on your far left. You're going to have these categories. Then you're going to have goals, and under goals, what are your goals in these areas of personal development, in habits, in activity. And I have mine written down, but you need to do your own. And then next to it is the word strategies. What are your strategies in accomplishing these goals? And one of the tips and the words that Eric kept saying, and this is my third year of attending GoPro, and one of the words that he kept saying, and it rung true to me, even more true this time, he kept it really simple, a strategy. Like, for instance, habits. Okay, my habits that I want to create, my goals are to be more effective and efficient. And what is my strategy to do that? Well, Eric gave me the tip and I'm going to use it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to teach it. And what he says is do, comma, review, comma, perfect. So whatever your habits are, do, review, perfect, right? Underneath that is activities. Well, what is your activities? What's your goal for activities? For me, myself, it's to organize and get my done list, made up every time. What's my strategy to making that come true? Well, first I have to do it, review it, and then perfect it. And this is what you do in every single one of these categories. That's what I found. Because what is the strategy of it? If you don't do it, you don't review it, you don't perfect it, you don't get any better. One of the keynote speakers also said, it keeps ringing in my head, come the next day a better person than you were. Come to the event a better person than you were yesterday. Come to the presentation a better person than you were. When you're going into your meetings with somebody, come a better person than the last time they met you. Right? Always be moving forward. And there again, that was just another tip from one of the keynote speakers. How do you do that? How are you going to become a better person than you were yesterday? How are you going to become, move forward than you were yesterday? It goes back to what Eric was saying. I believe it's do, review, and perfect. And since it's been a day or two since the event, and I find myself just clicking that in my head. When I was making my calls, or I was emailing today, or I was texting my clients, I was like reviewing it. I did what I needed to do. I reviewed after the fact that I did it, and how could I do it better? It just made my life a lot more simple. So again, those are the fundamentals that Eric gave out, and I just gave you just a synopsis really quickly of what he said we should do. Some of the keynote speakers that were there, there's so many and so many great quotes, but some of the things that just rung true to me, and I want to share with you. Tony Robbins, what can you say about Tony Robbins? He literally he raised the roof up, 8,000 people. I saw some of my dearest friends near me that were just had a breakthrough moment where there were tears of joy, there was tears of moving forward, there's tears of growth, because Tony has that ability to do that. And that's what this whole business is about. It's about personal development. It's about personal growth. And only you can experience that because you're doing it. We're just helping you. If you can look at some of his YouTubes and get some of his CDs, something rung in my head that still does. It says, serving something larger than yourself. I know why I'm doing this. I don't know why you're doing it. But if you don't know, find something that you can do to serve, to do for somebody else that's bigger than you. So that it's ringing in my head. It still is, serving something larger than yourself. Something else that he said is, I just mentioned it, is if you move forward, you will never fail. If you move forward, you will never fail. And that includes from doing a presentation, your first demo. When you're doing your first demo, if it's not, a rock star demo, don't worry about it. You have tomorrow, you have next week, you have next month. Just keep doing it. Just keep moving forward. When you invite someone and they don't show up, that's okay. You did it. Let's move forward. Do it, review it, and perfect it, right? So move forward, and you will never fail. And I love that because I put a lot of what do you call it? A standard. I have a high standard for myself and for our team, and it's okay to fail. That's another thing I learned. You know, the best in the industry fail. We fail all the time. People don't see our failures most of the time. They see our successes. They hear about our successes. But guess what? The one who fails the most is the expert. And I'm failing every day, just like a lot of the people, like everybody else in the business. But as long as we're moving forward, I believe we're going to become successful. Another keynote speaker that resonated with me with fundamentals is Mike Sims. Mike Sims was, he just kept it really simple. He says your philosophy plus your attitude equals your lifestyle. Your philosophy. What are you living for? You know, my philosophy is different than yours, and you need to figure out what that is. But I just want to keep it simple because you guys should, if you don't know what philosophy means, look it up, review it, put your attitude behind it, and that will create your lifestyle. He says, everybody talks about your why. The most successful people are on stage talking about your why, and we've talked about it before. He adds, it's not just your why, it's your IQ. Your IQ, not your smarts, but what's your I quit level? What are you willing to sacrifice before you quit? Right? So your IQ, that should be your why. Your why is tied to your IQ. What are you willing to do until you quit in this business or in any business? You need to know what your IQ is. He also reminds me he also reminded me that the people that we hang around is going to have a huge influence on your success or on your failure. And we have tons of friends, and we have lots of business associates. And I'm not saying that we should not be around the people that we want to be around, but if you want to progress your business forward, you have to be with like-minded, positive, entrepreneur, forward-thinking, successful-minded individuals. Everybody else, you can go and play with them. You can go and have fun with them. But just know that if you're spending the majority of your time with those types of people, how are you moving your business forward? So go and hang out with the people that are going to be a positive influence to your life, your personal development, and your business. Also from Mike Sims, he says, going back to you a little bit on your why and your IQ, who's counting on you for being successful in this business? It shouldn't be just you. Who else is it counting on you? Is it your parents? Because you want to help them out financially or want to, provide a new car, whatever it is that you want to do for them, or food on the table, or, even to pay the electricity. Who's counting on you? Is it your family? Is it your roommates? Sometimes you've got to think of others, and I believe that drives me. That drives me. Who's counting on me? Because I'll tell you a story. 3 years ago, my first Eric Worre event, Mike Sims inspired me. He inspired me because he says when we all first get into network marketing business, he relates us all to like a speedboat. We're all trying to get from the mainland to the island together. And as you're plowing through the water, we're going really fast, and some of us get to the island faster than others. But along this journey, some of us, as these speedboats, turn into kayakers. Now we're just kayaking our way to the island, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And, so you become a kayak for a while, and others become a sailboat. So the wind takes you wherever it's going to take you, but you have your eye on the island because that's where you started with your friends and your mentors and stuff like that, and that's where you want to be, on the island with them. But you turn into a sailboat, and when the wind kicks up, you get a little more gusto. Some of us turn into, or some of these people in our business who turn into submarines. They go down, they go missing for a week or a month, and they come back up, and they're with us, and they make a couple sales, and they go down and they come back up, and they're a submarine. And then there's some of us in the business where we go from that speedboat and we turn into this cruise ship. And this cruise ship is this big, luxurious, fat cruise ship that's just taking its own sweet cruise to the island. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. 3 years ago, I was in that. I became that cruise ship. I went from a speedboat to a cruise ship, and the reason why I did that because my journey of getting to the island, I was getting there. I was getting to the island, and I was getting comfortable in my comfort zone. And my wife had said, why are you working so hard? The bills are paid, this is done, and you need to spend more time with the family, and just relax a little bit. And I said, you know what? You're right. You're right, sweetie, because I spent 5 years working my tail off. I'm going to back off a little bit, or excuse me, 3 years working my tail off. I'm going to back off a little bit. So for 2 years, I was that big fat cruise ship. And then when I went to the GoPro 3 years ago, Mike Sims reminded me I'm that cruise ship, and I need to be that speedboat. Because what I did was I was being selfish. I was a speedboat, and I help people want to be a speedboat, and here I turn into a cruise ship. And so when I went back home from the first event I went to, I told my wife, I said, sweetheart, I'm being selfish. I'm not helping our teammates get to the island with us. And I need you to bear with me. I need you to support me. I need you to back me up. And I need to do what's right. And that is I need to go back to becoming a speedboat, because you as the leader, as the mentor, you will be what your teammates are going to be. And if I'm fat and slow, the team's going to move fat and slow. So she gave me her blessings. She supported me. I became that speedboat again. So Mike Sims, that story that he gave me, it reminded me. So I hope that story, will help some of you out there. Look at what you've become, and remind yourself and your teammates. Hey, we're all we're speedboat. Let's just get there to the island. We'll party together and make that commitment. 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is. Another speaker that resonated with me was Jim Faubert, and Jim. He's just an amazing man, but he says, he reminded me, I always knew this, but he reminded me, build your final destiny with the company that you're with. From the first day to however long you've been in this business, make this your final dynasty. Excuse me, I said destiny. Make this your final dynasty. So I'm 100% committed in Enagic, and I'm committed to making this my final dynasty and legacy to pass it on to my family. And I invite you, and I hope that you will decide on what is your final dynasty and legacy that you want to leave behind, right? And that'll go. That was Jim Faubert. He reminded me also that, we're not here to teach distributors. We're here to help build leaders. If you want to be a leader, you build leaders. We're all leaders together. There's nobody more leader than another. You need to look at yourself as a leader right now and take that role and take it seriously. Myself, Creel, Wade, all the leaders that I have the joy of working with, we take our position very seriously. You need to start taking your position very seriously. You don't need us. You need to look in the mirror and say, I'm the leader. I'm going to take the team to where they need to be. I need to create more leaders on my team so they can take it. Let's see who else I got. Those were I got a lot more, but I'm going to leave it right there for you folks. I want to remind you of how to get the whole event on webinar streaming or streaming. If you have the streaming, I believe that you have a week access, right, Creel?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't, you can always go to networkmarketingpro.com, and I'm sure you can buy access to the whole event. Also, go to your leaders, because a lot of us leaders bought packages that allow our teams to go in there and have access to it. So you can either go to networkmarketingpro.com or go up to your leaders and find out, just to see if they activated the GoPro access, because I know that some of you did. What else?
Well, I think Siha, you got it right there, because we've talked about the mindset, and then the skills, and then bringing people into action. What really you nailed on the head was making a decision, staying connected in with the massive
I-
action,
I'm getting a really bad echo, Creel.
get access to the GoPro access. The weekly events we've got going on.
Creel, can you hear me? Can you hear
We
me?
suggested that there would be like 50 texts that would be sent out. People take action right away. So how do you take the mindset, the skills, and turn it into action? The third part is all the strategies. You're already starting to talk about it, mention it, the game plan,
Creel.
how to forward. So, Siha, let me ask you a question. After being in the event for 3.5 days and seeing this, what would be your one thing that you would tell people to take the mindset and the skills and take it into action this week?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, Kim. Did you need something?
Yes, there's a really bad echo, and it just started, and I think it's coming from Siha because you don't have a headset in.
I'll put in my headset. It just started to come in?
Not as,
Hold on one
yeah.
second.
Usually happens when you're on a laptop or a headset.
5 minutes. Are you there? Can you hear me? Is there any echo?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, Creel, to answer your question, I would say what I got out of this and what I want to share with everybody is to create your breakthrough moment, your breakthrough moment, and that is your breakthrough. Eric teaches it. We've had a lot of teammates feel it, and your breakthrough moment is your paradigm shift, where you were, where you are, and where you're going. It's where you are from what you just got, and that's your breakthrough moment. How do you get there? You have to visualize it, create it, recognize it, and that is your breakthrough moment. That is so key. Until you have a breakthrough moment, I believe you're not focused. You're not focused enough. So go and visualize your breakthrough moment. Create what you want, and then you know when that's going to be. The breakthrough moment is what I want everybody to get in their skill set right now.
Awesome. Awesome. I really think that's even for myself coming home. It's like, what's my breakthrough moment this week? Like, where do I turn? Take what I've learned and take it into action so that I become a better version of myself this week and move it forward. So, we challenge everybody out there to, take what you've learned and take it into action this week. And you see some of the things. I think I'll just go over it again because of the echo issue. Make a decision, stay connected. We've got these weekly events. I'm going to be doing Tuesday night at Alans in Vancouver. Thursday night there's going to be a business presentation. There's events happening all over the place. Taking what we've got going on right now and inviting other people to take a look at it. What really left me from this whole experience is we've got such a great opportunity within the network marketing profession within Magic, but our profession really offers people massive solutions. And it's not always apparent and easy to see from the outside, but setting up the amount of exposures and appointments is really going to be crucial. So one of the things that we came away with, and I know, Siha, we talked about this earlier, was tracking our numbers out in the field. So I'm going to create a form this week, send it out to the leaders so that we can all start to track the number of texts and phone calls, the number of appointments, and the number, what that equals, so that at the end of the month, you started on day one, you just keep a tally, keep a count, so that by the end of the month, you've got something to look back on. We need to start looking at what is our action? Because, we can get caught up in different things and we realize, oh, we're not getting the results we're looking at. And then we look back and we're like, oh, well, wait a minute, in the last 30 days, I made 13 phone calls. That's probably not going to be enough, where if you get it up to 40 or 50, then you got just starting to see some results. So I'm going to take that action myself and get that disseminated out into our group and really explain how that's going to work as a way for people to plug into it. I'd love to hear some of your feedback on that. Siha, let's move it into questions So I know there's people out there that probably have some comments, some questions. We'd love to hear from you. So if you want to throw it up in the question panel, that would be great. So I'll just read through and jump some stuff. So a few people have definitely agreed that they'd love to have a kind of the book of the month. So let's keep talking about that. I'm going to put it out to a few other people and leaders and see if we can get like a real group to come together around it. From Patrick, can you please name your top 3 ways of generating more leads? Sure. We'll see how you and I can both do this. Top 3 ways of generating more leads. I go out and I try to have a goal of introducing it to 2 new people a day, having a conversation, so 2 exposures a day and collecting information. So I've been away for 13 days in Hawaii and in Las Vegas, and I'm still trying to like plant the seeds, get some contacts so that I can follow up with people. So I'm looking for during my everyday encounters. Then I also use Facebook and social media. I will develop more conversations with people, reach out, be posting stuff, see who gets involved with those conversations and follow them up. And then I have a long list of people that I've known from the past that it's really about making those texts or phone calls or wherever it's going to be and taking the action. I think sometimes we wait for something to kind of hit us right in the face that's so obvious that like, oh wow, here's a hot lead, rather than actually doing the fundamentals and generating those leads. You know, we could sit back on Facebook or go through our phone and write out a brand new list of people we have not yet spoken to, or it's been a while since we've spoken to, and then start to reconnect to them. If you need to go out to networking events, go to networking events, entrepreneurial circles. Whatever you are feeling most passionate about, if you like working out, go to the gym. Start talking to people at the gym. Start bringing your Kangen water to the gym in a bottle. Whatever you're resonating with is a great place to do exposures and start generating leads. For me, I love going to yoga class. I talk to yogis about it. So there's a couple of my top 3. Siha, do you want to answer that question?
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite questions. It really is. I have so many ways of getting leads, but I want to share with you some of the first things. I shared this with our teams, matter of fact, in Las Vegas, because we had a lot of new people there on the team. And I said, you know, coming from a real estate background and promoting and marketing background, I said, you know, do people that you know, your associations, you know, your contacts, your friends and your family, do they know what you do? No, seriously, do they know what you do? And what I followed that up with is I want everybody to go to your contacts list in your phone. Open up your phone, go to your contacts list. And everybody should have right now 200 to 1,000 to 1,000 contact lists, because those are the people that you care about. Those are the people that you know that care about you. Do they know what you do? Because as a real estate agent or mortgage broker or insurance agent, whatever your profession may be, I was in the real estate business and my background there. Everybody in my town knew what I did. I have to continue to market to the people that I know and the people that don't know what I do. Ford, Chevrolet, Coca-Cola, the biggest companies in the world, they still do commercials everywhere. Why are they still marketing? Because you need to be in front of people. You need to remind them what you do. So marketing is very, very key. And I explained there's some key ways to how you can market and for free. I'll share this really quickly. On Craigslist, myself and my teams have generated some sales on Craigslist just by putting, I will trade organic fruits and vegetables for the finest water on earth. Who did I attract? I attracted somebody that has an organic garden. I got non-pasteurized milk from them. I got honey from them. I got fruits and vegetables from them. We traded for over a year, and I gave them the finest water on earth, our Kangen water. When I left for vacation for a couple weeks, they obviously couldn't get the water. So when I came back, his name's Yuri. When I came back, Yuri said, Siha, I really need to figure out a way to get this machine I know that you've been so generous for doing this, sharing the water with me for a year. I said, generous? You've been giving me fruits, my family, fruits and vegetables and eggs and all this for a year. I said, no problem. But he says, I need to figure out a way to get this because I can't have this happen again because while you're gone, my 11-year-old son said, Dad, my asthma is coming back. Yuri had 3 jobs with 5 children, and we figured out a way to do it. So how did I get that lead? I got on Craigslist just trading organic fruits and vegetables for the finest water on earth. A teammate of mine posted a similar ad. She said, we'll trade massages for the finest water on earth. She did get a reply back. She traded massages for a few months. I don't remember exactly how many it was, but what I do remember is it led to the massage therapist buying a machine. Okay, so you have to market it. I'm just sharing with you a free way to market. Personally, I go out there and I make friends because how do you do that? I ask a lot of questions. I ask a lot of questions. Once I meet people, if it's people that I know, one of my favorite questions is, who do you know that puts smiles on people's faces? Who do you know that puts smiles on people's faces? That's all I want to know, because I want that energy. I want to meet them because I know that they're gonna put a smile on my face. So I ask a lot of questions. That's how I make friends. After I make friends, or they're already my friends, I say, who do you know? Because I'm asking for referrals. That's how I get my leads. I always ask for a referral. And that's one of the ways I ask. Who do you know, Creel, that puts smiles on people's faces? I want to meet that person. All right. Another question that I ask is, who do you know who would love me? Who do you know that would love my product, or love what I'm doing, or fall in love with me? Because because the person I'm with is usually my friend, my family, or somebody that I'm prospecting, and maybe it might not be the right time for them, but they know what my passion is, what our passion is about our product and what it's doing. So I ask them, who do you know that would love our product? Not like our product. I say love. I use the word. I mean what I say what I mean. Who do you know that will love our product? So I ask a lot of questions, and that's how I get a lot of my leads. What else? So those are the 3. You asked for 3. I said make friends, ask questions, and market yourself better. So those are my top 3 ones.
Awesome. Thanks, Siha.
You betcha.
If anyone else has got some questions, just pop it into the box. Seems like there's definitely some people interested in doing the book, which I think is a great idea, to have our own book club that we run out once a month. I know for myself, the last 3-4 months, I've been really trying to dedicate to start reading books. So, and I just work better under pressure and when I'm involved with other people doing fun stuff together. I think that's a big reason why building community around this is so important, because sometimes we don't do it for ourselves, but we'll do it for other people. So if there's any last questions out there, please pop it in the box. I do want to leave, before we hop off here, a couple of things. Following up kind of, Siha, with what you had just spoken about, there was a great woman who started the event called Gloria Mayfield Banks, and she really spoke about servant leadership and how we need to be in a place of having the right intent and really wanting to serve people. And so even when in the prospecting, to ask your question, Patrick, of asking the questions, what are people looking for? But she said something really important that left me feeling pretty awesome. And she said, the #1 thing people remember is how you make them feel. For me, that just struck me of what type of person are you and how are you coming across to people? And I think that has a lot to do with our heart intention, our posturing, and so forth, that if people feel good around us, what do they want to do? They want to help us. They want to get involved with us. They want to be around us more. So I felt like for myself, I'm like, oh, I got to really be clean and clear with how am I showing up right now? And if I'm out in the world, how am I presenting myself? Because, I know when I see someone who's sharp, who's energetic, who's I just feel oh, wow, I want to meet them. And so remember that. It's how you touch people is really going to be the most important thing. And that's what they're going to remember, and they'll probably lead to wanting to know about, hey, what are you up to? So here's a couple more questions before it jumps on in. Weekly Water Wednesdays at Patricia's Penthouse in the West End. Starting this week, we will be practicing skills as teammates at 6 p.m. and offering a short, powerful water demo for guests at 7 p.m. All right, nice work, everybody. That's Patricia and Oviv jump-starting into action, both being at the event. So that's going to be Patricia Kim's Penthouse in the West End. So it looks like practicing skills with teammates at 6 p.m. So meet and greet and do all that, and then a powerful demo at 7 p.m. for guests. So put that as another event you can get access to. And here's a question. If someone feels like they're in a slump, can you please explain one technique to use yourself motivated besides going to events, something you do when you are by yourself? I think it's getting clear about what you want. You know, I don't get stuck for too long because my goal, who I want to be and where I want to become, is so much stronger than staying in a rut. I've got some down days and so forth, but the best way to take that is take action. Inaction is going to really fester what's not working. So taking action is the solution. And really, taking action is probably the solution to 99% of the things out in the world. You know, to switching what we're not working and move it into something working. So I would say take action. If you need more information on that, call your sponsor and ask them, what action do you think I should be taking right now so that I can generate more success for myself?
I can help answer that too, Krill.
Perfect. Go for it, Siha.
You nailed it, but it's another word that's related to action. They had one of the keynote speakers had us write down, I think it was Eric Worre, he had us write down all the things that you think are causing the slump. Anything that you think you're causing a slump. I forget some of the lists. What you write down your own list. What do you think is causing your slump? Is it that you're not meeting people? Is it that they're not calling you back? Is it that they're not going to shows with you, demos with you, and you're getting into that rut? Is your team not returning call? Whatever, you write it all down on one side, and on the other side, you write a big word called activity. And then now you put a sheet of paper over the word activity, and you write down all those words that you think is keeping you in a slump, and you move that sheet over until you can't see that negativity. And what word do you see? Activity. Just like Creel was saying, it's actions. It's taking action. It's your activities. It's you that's in the slump, right? So what are you going to do about it? What activities are you going to do? So I won't dwell on this any longer. Take action. What is your activity? If you don't, you should have, instead of all the things causing you to have a slump, you should be having all your activity list. That's what he means.
Yes.
Okay. Next question.
Awesome, Siha. Thank you. I loved that what Eric Worre said about activity is the cure for many emotions, fear, anger, anxiety, etc. Thanks, Rachel. Totally. It's about taking action, everybody. You know, it's moving from a place of like on the fence and there's fear to moving it into action. You know, and you can have personal goals, you can have strategies. I want to talk to 2 people a day. How am I going to do that? I'm going to talk to one of them through phone calls, someone I haven't reached out to, and the other person through meeting someone on the street. You know, there's your goal, there's your strategy, there's your action plan. All right? Also, just want to mention, Rodney, great to have you on the webinar, Rodney. The GEM Wellness Center is opening this week in West Kelowna. Exciting. I'm going to assume that there's probably presentations or a demo happening for that, and the Wellness Center is probably, maybe a little bit more information there, Rodney. I'd love to share that out, because I bet people would be excited if they had it, any prospects in Kelowna, or they were stopping through the area just to kind of connect into more Kangan people. And if you guys have any last-minute questions or comments, please pop it into the box. Other than that, I think we'll move towards some final comments. Siha, would you like to make any final comments to wrap it up?
Yes, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you, Creel. Thank you, Wade. Wade's commuting and living the lifestyle. Speaking of lifestyle, it was 3 days with the most amazing people in the Nagic family, our PH Alliance family, and everybody else that we know in the Nagic. And now I'm in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. Just had a beautiful hike with our dear friends, and it's again, it comes back for me. It's the lifestyle. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I'm doing, and I've shared it with the world, and so it's coming to fruition. And I only wish that you guys get to live your lifestyle that you want to as well. So go out and do what you need to do so that you can have the lifestyle. Allow us to be a part of that, and we will all be blessed. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Creel.
Awesome, Siha. And for myself, I just want to thank you guys all for showing up. That's part of the activity, right? For working on yourselves with the mindset, for plugging into events like this, for the GoPro, for reading the books, developing the skill set, and then really creating the strategy and the action plan to make it all happen. What we know, here's what I've noticed in network marketing. In the beginning, you're going to do a lot of things you don't get paid for. And then somewhere in the middle, you're going to get a fair value for what you put in. And then down the road, after a few years have passed, you're going to end up getting paid for a lot of things that you don't do. What's the difference? The person that you were on day one to the day you are 5 years later has grown on the inside and in the heart in such a way that you start to be rewarded at that level. So my belief is that everyone on this call will be successful. You got to stick with it, work on yourselves, develop the skill set, and take action out in the world. I want to, on behalf of me, myself, and Siha Top, and Wade Lightheart, and the PH Alliance, Prosperity and Health Alliance with a Heart, we want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're going to be back next Monday, same time, same place. In the meantime, have an awesome week. Start talking to people, and let's have a great event next week. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night.
Thank you, everybody. See you at the top. Bye for now.